The studio went silent except for Jasmine Crockett's voice. On live television, she held up a stack of papers with trembling fingers. This isn't just about a visa. This is about abuse of power, she said, her voice sharp but laced with sadness. The camera cut to Melania Trump. Her usual poise cracked. She wasn't blinking. Her lips parted, then pressed tight as if holding back tears. "Congresswoman, I don't know what you think you're doing." Melania's voice quivered. But Jasmine didn't stop. She read aloud. "I can't let them see this. If they find out how I got it, it all unravels." Melania gasped audibly, her hand flying to her mouth. "That's private. You have no right." The anchor froze between them, unsure whether to intervene. Social media exploded within seconds. Clips of Melania's shaking hands and tear-filled eyes were already flooding Twitter with captions like, "Melania collapses live," and "the emails she never wanted you to see." And yet, Jasmine wasn't finished. "Shall I read the one where you called it a favor from Donald's friends?" she asked softly. Melania's chair creaked as she shifted, face pale. But she didn't say no. How did it come to this? Jasmine's team had spent months sifting through documents from anonymous whistleblowers. Most of it was political noise, until they found a chain of emails between Melania and an immigration attorney in 2001. One line stood out. "He said it's all arranged. I don't need to worry about qualifications." Jasmine's stomach had twisted when she read it. She'd always admired women like Melania, immigrants who fought for their place. But this felt like a betrayal to every struggling immigrant family she'd ever met. Now, under the blinding studio lights, Jasmine felt the weight of those families watching her, waiting for her to speak for them. "Mrs. Trump," Jasmine said, her voice low but resolute. "People out there dream of legal status, and you got an Einstein visa meant for Nobel laureates by pulling strings." Melania's knuckles turned white as she gripped her chair. "That's not true. I worked hard for everything." "Did you?" Jasmine's question cut through the air. Melania's eyes darted off camera. For the first time, she looked small, and the next email was far worse. The next email sent shivers down Jasmine's spine when she first read it weeks ago. "Don't let them find out how I really got in. You know what happens if this leaks." Now she read it aloud as millions watched. Melania's breathing quickened. "You don't understand. That was private. It's being twisted." "Then explain it," Jasmine said firmly. "Explain why you called it a favor and begged to keep it quiet." The anchor interjected nervously. "Congresswoman Crockett, is it ethical to air private correspondence?" Jasmine didn't flinch. "What's unethical is using power to cheat the system." Suddenly, Melania's composure crumbled. A single tear streaked down her cheek. She whispered something, but the mic didn't catch it. Viewers leaned in. Twitter blew up. Did she say, "I warned Donald this would happen"? And then Melania stood up. "Enough. I won't sit here while you destroy me," she said, her voice cracking. But Jasmine's eyes hardened. "You're free to leave, but the truth isn't leaving with you." The screen faded to black. The cameras were still rolling. Melania's voice trembled as she stood, her designer heels unsteady against the studio floor. "You don't understand. They promised me it was legal. I didn't know the rules back then. I trusted Donald's people." Jasmine's chest tightened. For a fleeting moment she saw not a former First Lady, but a frightened young woman trapped in political machinery far bigger than her. But then, the memory of immigrant mothers she'd met at the border flashed in Jasmine's mind. Women crying in detention, clutching their children. "They didn't get promises, Melania. They got cages," Jasmine said, her voice quivering with rage. A producer whispered frantically off camera, "Do we cut? She's crying." Melania's mascara streaked as she pleaded. Please, you don't know what it's like to be alone in a foreign country, to owe everything to a man who… She stopped mid-sentence, realizing what she was about to say. Jasmine leaned forward. To a man who… What, Melania? But Melania only shook her head violently. You don't want this truth. It'll destroy us both. Jasmine spent the next night replaying the broadcast on her cracked iPad, the glow lighting her tear-streaked face in the dark. She couldn't sleep. Not after seeing the hurt in Melania's eyes when she whispered, You don't know what it's like. So Jasmine dug deeper. What she found wasn't just emails. It was a trail of forgotten photos, unpaid modeling gigs, and an old Slovenian friend who spoke anonymously. Melania never wanted this life. She just wanted out of Sevnica. The woman's voice cracked over the phone. She thought Donald loved her, but it was never love. It was a deal. The visa was part of it. Jasmine's stomach churned. Was she exposing corruption or crushing a woman who was a victim too? Meanwhile, the world was choosing sides. Twitter hashtags exploded. Das Crockett courage, or leave Melania alone. Melania herself hadn't been seen in public for 48 hours. Reporters staked out Mar-a-Lago. Then Jasmine's assistant rushed into her office. You need to see this. An anonymous source had sent a video file, and it was devastating. On the screen, a grainy video played. Melania sat alone in what looked like a hotel room, years before she was First Lady. She clutched her phone, whispering into it in broken English. Please, I can't go back home. He said he can fix my papers. I didn't ask for this, but I have no choice. Jasmine covered her mouth in shock. Melania looked terrified, like a woman making a deal with the devil just to survive. Was this the same person she'd confronted on live TV? The video cut off abruptly. Her assistant spoke in a hushed tone. If we air this, it'll end her. Politically, personally, maybe even physically. Jasmine's palms were sweaty. She'd sworn to fight for justice, but at what cost? Her phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. Stop digging, or you'll regret it. The text message haunted Jasmine as she sat in her dimly lit office. Stop digging, or you'll regret it. At first, she dismissed it as online noise. But when she stepped outside, a black SUV idled across the street. Its windows were tinted, unreadable. Her heart pounded. She called her chief of staff. Am I being paranoid? No, came the grim reply. This isn't just about Melania anymore, it's about him, and he doesn't lose. That night, Jasmine's phone rang again. This time, a voice, a deep, cold male voice. Do you want to end up like the others who went after him? Leave the emails alone. Jasmine's hands trembled, but before she could respond, her assistant burst in, phone in hand. Melania's on CNN, live. Jasmine froze. She's telling her side of the story. The TV blared as Melania sat across from Anderson Cooper. Gone was the glamorous First Lady image. In its place was a woman with tear-streaked cheeks and a trembling voice. I was young. I was scared. I didn't even know what the Einstein visa was. They told me to sign papers, smile for photos, and stay quiet, Melania admitted. Anderson leaned forward. Who told you, Melania? Who arranged it? She hesitated. My husband's friends, lawyers, people with power. Her voice cracked. I thought I had no choice. The studio fell silent. Jasmine watched, heart heavy. This wasn't the villain she'd painted on air. But then, Melania dropped a bombshell. They said if anyone ever asked, deny. Always deny. Or my family back home would. Her words faltered. The screen went black. Technical difficulties, the anchor said nervously. Jasmine gripped her phone as a new message flashed. She talks. She disappears. Choose wisely. Jasmine couldn't shake Melania's words. She'd exposed a woman trapped in a gilded cage, not a schemer. But now both their lives were at risk. As night fell, Jasmine's security detail reported suspicious drones circling her home. Her mother called in tears, begging her to drop the investigation. "I can't, Mama," Jasmine whispered. "If I stop now, they win. They'll keep crushing people like us." Meanwhile, Melania went silent again. No public appearances, no social media updates. Some feared she'd been silenced for good. Then Jasmine received a package. No return address. Inside was a flash drive labeled, "For Jasmine, the whole story." Hands shaking, she plugged it into her laptop. A video file opened, and what she saw made her gasp so loud, the neighbor's dog barked. Donald Trump's voice. Melania sobbing. And a deal being struck that could ruin them all. The video on the flash drive played in shaky, handheld quality. Donald's voice was unmistakable, calm, commanding, cruel. "Marry me. Do as I say, keep your mouth shut, and you'll never have to worry about deportation again." Melania sat across from him, her hands folded tightly in her lap. Her face was pale, eyes darting to the door like a trapped bird. "But my family?" she whispered. "Safe, as long as you behave." Jasmine slammed her laptop shut, stomach churning. This wasn't just political corruption. This was coercion, exploitation. She stared at her reflection in the dark screen. Could she air this? Was it justice or cruelty? Outside, the SUV idled again. A text pinged. "One more step, and we leak your family's secrets." Jasmine's hand hovered over her phone. Should she call the FBI, the media, or destroy the drive and walk away? But before she could decide, her assistant burst in, breathless. "Melania's missing. Her staff says she never returned from CNN." It was all over the news. Former First Lady Melania Trump has reportedly vanished after an emotional CNN interview. Friends fear for her safety. Jasmine's stomach knotted tighter. Was this Donald's doing? Had Melania been silenced because she spoke out? At Mar-a-Lago, reporters swarmed the gates. Trump himself appeared briefly to dismiss questions. "She's fine," he barked. "Fake news. She needed space." But Jasmine wasn't convinced. A whistleblower sent her a chilling email. "She's not in Florida. Last seen at a private airstrip. No flight records." Meanwhile, Jasmine's own life unraveled. Threatening calls, smear articles painting her as vindictive. Her mother's voice cracked over the phone. "Baby, they'll hurt you. Let it go, please." But Jasmine couldn't. Not after the flash drive. Not after seeing Melania's eyes, pleading for someone to save her. The next morning, an envelope slid under Jasmine's door. Inside was a photo. Melania, bound, gagged, crying, and scrawled in red ink, "Drop it, or she disappears forever." Jasmine's hands shook as she stared at the photo. This was no longer politics. This was life and death. Her team begged her to call law enforcement, but Jasmine hesitated. Could she trust them? Or were they already compromised? A single call from Donald could make evidence vanish, or worse, make her vanish. Her phone rang. "Congresswoman Crockett." It was Donald's voice. Smooth, mocking. "You've been busy. I suggest you stop playing hero. Melania made her choices. You're next if you're not careful." Jasmine's breath caught. "You're threatening a sitting member of Congress?" A cold chuckle. "Sweetheart, I don't threaten. I act." The line went dead. Jasmine slumped in her chair, tears pricking her eyes. She had two options: leak the flash drive and risk Melania's life. Stay silent and let evil win. But as she weighed the impossible, her assistant's voice cracked through the silence. "Jasmine, another video just came in. This time, it's from Melania herself." Jasmine stared at her assistant's phone as the video loaded. Melania appeared on screen, but this wasn't the pale, broken woman from CNN. Her face was bruised, her eyes swollen from crying. "Jasmine," she whispered, voice hoarse. "I don't have much time." She glanced nervously off screen. "They think they control me. But I have to tell you, don't stop, even if it costs me everything." Tears streaked her face as she held up a handwritten note. "Donald isn't just covering up a visa. He's covering crimes that go beyond me." She swallowed hard. "If I don't make it, release the drive. Save others. Please." The screen went black. Jasmine's assistant gasped. "We can't sit on this, she's begging you." But Jasmine's phone buzzed again. This time it wasn't Donald. It was her mother. "Honey, there's a strange car outside our house. Men with earpieces. What's going on?" Jasmine's heart pounded like a drum. The SUV across the street revved its engine. Then came a sharp knock on her office door. 3 men in suits, no smiles, no badges. "Congresswoman Crockett," one said smoothly, "we need to have a word about national security. Let's take a ride." Jasmine gripped the flash drive in her pocket. "I'm not going anywhere." "Ma'am," the man said, stepping closer, "you don't understand. This isn't a request." Her assistant's hand hovered over the panic button. Then her phone lit up again. Another video. Melania whispering through tears. "They're watching us both. Jasmine, don't trust anyone in a suit." Jasmine's stomach turned. Were these men here to escort her, or to silence her? "Ma'am," the agent said, his hand brushing his jacket, too close to where a gun might be. Jasmine's decision had to be immediate. Fight, or go quietly. Jasmine raised her chin. "If you're taking me, you're doing it live." She pulled out her phone and began streaming. "Congresswoman Crockett here. I'm being approached by unidentified men outside my office." Tens of thousands joined the stream in seconds. Comments flew. "Don't go with them." "We see you, Jasmine. Stay strong." The men froze, realizing they were being watched by the world. One whispered into his earpiece. Then they backed away. "This isn't over," the leader hissed before retreating. Jasmine's knees buckled as the SUV screeched away. She turned to her assistant. "We have to act. Release Melania's video and the flash drive." But before her assistant could move, the power cut out. Darkness swallowed the room. Then a deep voice echoed in the black. "Too late, Congresswoman. You should have stayed quiet." In the pitch-black room, Jasmine felt her heart pound so hard she thought it would give her away. A shadow moved. A man's silhouette stepped into the faint glow of her laptop screen. Donald Trump. "You're clever, Jasmine," he said calmly. "But clever doesn't keep you breathing." Jasmine stood her ground. "You won't get away with this. The whole world is watching." He smirked. "The world forgets. Headlines fade. People move on." Her fingers hovered over the send button on her phone. With one press, Melania's confession and the damning video would hit every major network. But Donald's eyes narrowed. "Do it, and she dies. You think I don't know where she is?" Jasmine's blood ran cold. "You release it," he continued, "and my friends in high places will bury your career, your family, and her body in the same day." A single tear rolled down Jasmine's cheek. She whispered, "You'll never bury the truth." Then, from outside, a helicopter, floodlights, a booming voice, "FBI, step away from the Congresswoman." Chaos erupted. Agents stormed the building as Donald fled through a back exit, vanishing into the night. Jasmine's hands shook violently as she finally pressed send. Within minutes, Melania's tearful video, the flash drive files and recordings of Donald's threats spread across every platform. CNN, MSNBC, even Fox News couldn't ignore it. Breaking. Trump caught in visa coercion scandal. Melania's desperate plea goes viral. In the footage, Melania's voice cracked. I was young. I was scared. He owned me. But if you're seeing this, I'm free. Or I'm gone. Either way, I need the world to know the truth. Millions watched. Millions wept. But there was no sign of Melania. Days passed. Protests erupted. Lawmakers demanded hearings. And then a body washed up on a Florida shore. The world mourned as news outlets confirmed it. Melania Trump. Gone. Jasmine stood at a candlelit vigil, holding a photo of Melania from her modeling days. Behind her, thousands chanted, "Justice for Melania, justice for Jasmine." She wiped a tear and took the microphone. She was silenced her whole life, but in her last moments she chose courage. We must honor her, not with hate, but with action. The crowd cheered, tears streaming down faces young and old. At that moment, Jasmine's phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. It's not over, he's still out there. Jasmine looked out over the crowd, fire in her eyes. This isn't the end, it's the beginning. As the screen faded to black, 3 words appeared. For Melania, for truth, for all of us. If this story moved you, don't let Melania's voice be silenced again. Hit like, share this video, and subscribe so we can keep shining light on the truths others want hidden. Comment for her below if you believe justice is worth fighting for.